One of the most annoying things about the PlayStation 4 is backwards compatibility, because it doesn't exist. Your only option to play old games on your current system is to buy PS2 classics or remasters from the PlayStation Network store, or, subscribe to PlayStation Now, but unless you hack your PS4.
Hackers have broken into an older version of the PS4 console, those running on the 4.05 system software, and blown it wide open. The PS4 CAN hack opens the door to all kinds of shenanigans inside the console. And it basically means that piracy is now in full swing on the PS4, with one of the many new software tools created as a result of this being a tool that allows you to back up or copy your PS4 games and play them on a hacked console. Some of the pirated PS4 games already making the rounds include Dead Rising 4 and Doom VFR. The only catch is that games that need PS4 system software beyond 4.05, so most of the games released in 2017 and onwards, will not be piratable. This of course means that only a very small amount of consoles out there, those that haven't been updated beyond versions 4.05, which came out in November 2016, will actually be able to run it. Anyone who connects to the internet with their PS4 will have downloaded the newer system updates as Sony rolled them out. Nonetheless, the hacking community seems to be rejoicing at this news.
But there is one specific detail amidst this particular bit of hacking news that should be of interest to anyone wanting to play their old PS2 games on their PS4. One software developer has already created something called PS2 PubGen, which is a tool that allows users to back up or copy their old PS2 games and play them on the emulator inside the PS4. PlayStation 2 emulation is actually a system-level feature that the legit PS2 classics from the PlayStation Network store actually use. People had speculated that the console's emulator had to be specifically tweaked to play each individual PS2 classic on the store. But now we know that the emulator can run many PS2 games without being modded at all. The emulator even packs several added features like a 4x resolution boost and improved performance. So this complicated, dodgy method is the only way people can run their own legitimately bought PS2 games on their legitimately bought PlayStation 4, and even then you've got to be one of the few that still have a PS4 running version 4.05 of the system software. But the bottom line and the simple fact of all this is that those with hacked consoles can now play their old PS2 games on their PS4, and official users can't.
The floodgates opened for all this back in late December when hack-crafting developers Spectre and Team Fail Overflow revealed a flaw in PS4's 4.05 firmware. This type of hack is known as a kernel exploit, which allows modders to run any old bit of code on the PS4 console. It's already led to a big conversation and support from the hacking community, who have even got the Linux operating system running on the console and homebrew development, which is what opens the gates to piracy and PS2 game playback. How Sony will respond to all this is interesting. The company took famed hacker George Hotz to court after he jailbroke the PS3 back in 2011, a case which led Hotz to pledging never to hack Sony hardware again.
And Sony's not been too hot on backwards compatibility this generation. In an interview with Time magazine in June 2017, Sony boss Jim Ryan said, quote, "When we've dabbled with backwards compatibility, I can say it is one of those features that is much requested, but not actually used much. That, and I was at a Gran Turismo event recently where they had PS1, PS2, PS3 and PS4 games, and the PS1 and the PS2 games, they looked ancient. Like, why would anybody play this?" So that's Sony's stance on backwards compatibility, but clearly people want it because this emergence of this news, which has come out of the hacking community, which is kind of impenetrable to anyone on the outside, like the language news and stuff, that's still made its way over to mainstream gaming websites because it's got that hint in there of PlayStation 2 games running on the PlayStation 4. That's how hungry people are for this, and they're getting lots of comments and stuff on those articles on the Eurogamer one. It's a very popular article. People do care about this. People do want to play old games. It's just mind-boggling that this is the only way now to get to play your old PS2 games on a PlayStation 4 is to engage in all this kind of dodgy shit and also have this version of the PlayStation 4 system software, which is there's a very good chance that you don't have if you've connected to the internet.
So backwards compatibility is one of the things that Microsoft and the Xbox have over the PlayStation 4. It's one of their unique selling points. If you want to play your old games, you can do that on Xbox. You can't do that on PS4. The fact that hackers have been able to do this with essentially what is just a bit of code, there's no extra hardware here, it's just a regular PS4. They've been able to tweak it with all the files or whatever. It's way above my head, I'll be honest with you, Mike. But essentially essentially they're able to get these games running. Why won't Sony support that? It doesn't make any sense. Jim Ryan says, they look ancient. Why would anybody play that? Obviously, people want to play that. Like Mike said, people are going to the effort. People are going crazy for this. People want to see this. It's giving people the option. One of the reasons why they don't support it, obviously, is because they can make money off those old games. They can make you re-buy those games that you already own on the digital store, as well as subscribe to the PS Now, which to me is bullshit. This is absolutely bullshit. It feels like another way of them trying to squeeze some more money out of you. I mean, Sony do a lot of things right, but this to me, it just seems like shit.
There's nothing like a corporate executive telling you what you want as well, you know, saying, you don't want that, no one wants this, no one's playing old games, look how shit they look. That's not how it works. Microsoft learned that lesson with the Xbox One. For a little while after the first reveal, after everyone was saying, this is crazy, we don't want DRM, and this is awful. But Microsoft had this thing for a little while of going, nah, yeah you do, this is great, this is exactly what you want. DRM this is the future, and then suddenly they do a big U-turn and then they're all about the fans, because that is the way it should be, and that's the way, if you're going to, you know, kind of communicate with your customers, this is, you know, that's how it works. So the tool here that they've kind of developed is really in its early stages, and it's really hard to see that more than a handful of people are going to even be able to use it because of the limitations and the fact that it needs this 4.05 firmware to even work and stuff. This isn't going to be a wide-reaching thing. But the point is, it works. People can get their old PS2 games to run on a PlayStation 4. The emulator that's built into the PlayStation 4, it works with like a lot of games in theory. In theory, any PlayStation 2 game, and you know, it might need ironing out here and there and stuff, but it bloody works. Why isn't it just available to everyone? Give it to everyone.
So hopefully now that this news is out, that it is doable, and it's not a technical barrier anymore. It's doable, Sony. Hopefully they come out and have to respond to that. This might spur Sony on to pull the fingers out the backsides and support it, because that's what we want. We want more choices for the consumer. We don't want the big executives making our choices for us. Give us the games. We want to play them. End on an angry note. It's the best. That's the PGG way.
So there you go. Hackers have really got PS2 classics running on the PS4. What do you think of this? Let us know in the comments down below. Remember to like the video if you enjoyed it, and do subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this every single day. Check out that video right there, right now if you want, and the link to Patreon if you want to support the channel. See you next time.